The prophecy of Hosea and its astonishing fulfillment in history. Around 753 BC, the prophet Hosea was chosen by God to deliver a profound and urgent message to the descendants of Abraham, the Israelites. This message, preserved in the book of Hosea, carried both a dire warning and a promise of hope. Hosea proclaimed that because the Israelites had rejected God and turned to sin and idolatry, they would face consequences, other nations would rise against them, and they would endure immense suffering. However, Hosea's message was not solely about punishment. It was also a revelation of God's boundless grace, foretelling a future restoration and revival of the nation. Initially, part of this prophecy came to fruition in 722 BC, when the Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom of Israel and took its people into captivity. Yet, Hosea's words carried layers of meaning that extended far beyond his own era. The prophecy also spoke to future generations, including events that unfolded in more recent history. By delving into this prophecy and its fulfillment, we can uncover how the Bible has, time and again, foretold historical events with incredible accuracy. Hosea's warning and promise of restoration in the book of Hosea, the prophet describes the spiritual state of the Israelites, warning that their rejection of God would lead to their downfall. Hosea 6:1-2 expresses both the consequence of their actions and the hope of redemption. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. After 2 days he will revive us. On the third day he will restore us, that we may live in his presence. This dual message of judgment and restoration highlights the mercy of God. While he allows discipline, his ultimate goal is to restore his people and bring them back into a relationship with him. Hosea's prophecy also gives a glimpse into the future, a promise that the nation of Israel would not remain in ruin forever. One day the Israelites would return to their land, and their relationship with God would be fully restored. This promise, as we will see, was fulfilled in stages throughout history. The Israelites and the shepherd. It's time to make a difference in the world. Join us as we spread the good news of Jesus Christ. Subscribe to our channel for powerful messages, prayer requests, and opportunities to serve. Like and share our videos to help us reach more people. The Israelites, later known as the Jewish people, play a central role in Hosea's prophecy. They were described as God's chosen people, often symbolized as sheep under his care. Yet their disobedience led to a period of separation from God. To understand the full implications of Hosea's prophecy, we must turn to another prophetic voice, Zechariah. Zechariah 13:7 declares, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, against the man who is close to me, declares the Lord Almighty. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered, and I will turn my hand against the little ones." This passage foretells a pivotal moment when the shepherd, later revealed as Jesus Christ, would be struck down, resulting in the scattering of God's people. The fulfillment of Zechariah's prophecy centuries later, Jesus identified himself as the Good Shepherd. In John 10:11 he said, "I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." Furthermore, during the Last Supper, Jesus directly referenced Zechariah's prophecy, saying in Matthew 6:31, "This very night you will all fall away on account of me, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered." This scattering began with the events following Jesus' crucifixion in 30 AD. In 70 AD, just 40 years later, Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans, and the Jewish temple was razed to the ground. This marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora, a period during which the Jewish people were dispersed across the nations, often enduring persecution and hardship. Jesus himself predicted this in Luke 21:24. "They will fall by the sword and will be taken as prisoners to all the nations. Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled." This prophecy, like Zechariah's, unfolded precisely as described. The Jewish people were exiled from their homeland and subjected to centuries of suffering, including expulsions, massacres, and discrimination in various nations. Jerusalem, once the heart of their spiritual and national identity, remained under the control of Gentile powers for nearly 2 millennia. Hosea's prophecy and the revival of Israel. Hosea's prophecy not only warned of destruction, but also promised a future revival of the Jewish people and the nation of Israel. In Hosea 6:2, he foretells a specific time frame. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will restore us, that we may live in his presence. To understand this, we must consider the prophetic language of the Bible. In 2 Peter 3:8, we read, "With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day." Similarly, Psalm 94 states, 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by. Using this prophetic key, Hosea's 2 days can be understood as 2 millennia. If we count 2 millennia from the time of Jesus' crucifixion around 30 AD, we arrive at approximately 2030 AD. However, Hosea's prophecy states that the revival would occur after 2 days but before the 3rd day. Remarkably, history reveals that the modern nation of Israel was established in 1948, during the latter part of the 2nd millennium. The significance of 1948, the rebirth of Israel in 1948, stands as one of the most extraordinary fulfillments of biblical prophecy. After nearly 2,000 years of exile, the Jewish people returned to their ancestral homeland and reestablished their nation. This event aligns perfectly with Hosea's prediction of revival after 2 days. Even the year 1948 holds symbolic significance. According to biblical chronology, Abraham, the father of the Jewish people, was born 1,948 years after Adam. The establishment of Israel in 1948 serves as a profound parallel, linking the beginnings of the Jewish nation with its modern revival. Prophecies fulfilled. The accuracy of these prophecies underscores the reliability of the Bible as a divine source. Zechariah predicted the scattering of the Jewish people following the death of the shepherd, and history confirms the Jewish diaspora. Hosea foretold the revival of Israel after 2 prophetic days, and in 1948, this remarkable event occurred. The fulfillment of these ancient prophecies points to a God who not only controls history, but also reveals his plans in advance. For those who seek evidence of God's sovereignty, the story of Israel offers undeniable proof, a call to reflection. The story of Hosea's prophecy invites us to reflect on the enduring faithfulness of God. Despite human disobedience and rejection, God's promises remain unshakable. The restoration of Israel is not just a historical event, it is a testament to God's unchanging love and his ultimate plan for humanity. As we look at these prophecies and their fulfillment, we are reminded of the central message of the Bible, a call to return to God, to trust in his promises, and to embrace the hope of restoration offered through his Son, Jesus Christ.